All right, so this news clip you're about to watch is 100% real. It's not made up, it's not satire, it's not parody, it is not a scene from a horror movie. It's from Australia, it's from 9 News, you see their logo in the corner. I had to preface it with that because it's unbelievable. It's dystopian as could possibly be, and it's hard to believe that it's real. But it is real, and here it is.
It's those doing the wrong thing driving our record case numbers. Among the most concerning cases, a COVID patient who's tonight on the run from a hotspot. Police and health authorities have issued an urgent appeal.
Anthony Karam knows he is COVID positive when he steps into this public lift. Already breaking so many rules, he doesn't bother to cover his mouth as he sneezes and splutters. The 27-year-old is still infectious but has gone missing from his Wentworth Point apartment. A warrant now issued for his arrest.
This 27-year-old chap, who apparently has expressed the view that he doesn't care less whether he spreads the virus, is one example of the worst of the worst.
There's little sympathy for anyone ignoring the health orders, even this group of teenagers caught partying after dark at the bottom of the North Bondi Cliffs. Herded to higher ground by Polaire's spotlight and speaker, the 8 boys were placed in handcuffs and left to explain a $1,000 fine to mum.
681 penalty infringement notices issued in the last 24 hours. More than 400 of those notices were again for people being outside of their home without a reasonable excuse.
Sideline Sharks player Josh Dugan denies lying to police when he was found a long way from Sydney. The 31-year-old stopped at 11:30 last night in Lithgow, where he allegedly told officers he was moving to the area and feeding animals before admitting to visiting a friend. He and a passenger turned back to Sydney, only to be pulled over a second time, travelling in the wrong direction. The NRL is investigating and criminal charges could be laid. It's getting harder and harder to hide if you're doing the wrong thing, especially in the construction industry, a crackdown following on from the recent shutdown. Workers sent home if their paperwork isn't in check.
It is a struggle, but it's it's just what has to be done. Like, nobody likes telling people to go home. They've all got families to feed.
Our cameras rolling on another random blitz in Marsden Park.
Authorising me under the Public Health Act.
Inspectors have asked these tradesmen to show proof of their QR check-in as well as identification and vaccination records. One of the men here is from Campsie and he doesn't have his documentation, so he's being sent home. He may lose a chunk of his pay too if officers follow through with a fine. Tiffany Genders, 9 News.
Absolutely insane. That's real. That it's so hard to believe that that's real. That could be straight out of a disturbing dystopian horror movie. Being called the worst of the worst in society for leaving your apartment without permission. I don't know about you, but when I think of the worst of people in a society, that's not the first thing that pops to mind. They've got people trained so thoroughly, sending people home if they don't have their proper papers and vaccination stuff and QR codes. And you heard oh no, but it's to send people home. We've all got families to feed. So what? The heck with their families? They just don't get to eat? Like that's okay with you? What, are you completely brainwashed? What is going on, Australia? What is happening? I just looked it up. I'm looking it up right now. Do you know how many people have died from COVID or with COVID in Australia? I've got it right here. 991 in the entire pandemic. 991. There's 25 million people in Australia. 991. Let's look at the daily toll here. Number of people in Australia who died yesterday. 3. Worldometers. Look it up for yourself. It's on Worldometers, the site that everybody uses for this. Do you know what is more dangerous than a virus? Tyranny. Tyranny is more dangerous than a virus. You got to get it together, Australia. This is never going to end.